Hey, RPM Trey Vietnam in this bitch. What the fuck is up? The sun is trying to peek through the clouds a little bit. We had a nice little rainy day today. I don't always mind the rain. Rain ain't that bad. I was talking about a little bit of the nature earlier in my earlier live stream from today. It's crazy what a little bit of rain and water will do. Floods, mudslides, tsunamis. But there's a tsunami warning in New Jersey. I don't even know what happened about that. But there was a warning about a tsunami in New Jersey. I thought that was kind of crazy. It'd be a lot going on, man. Y'all gotta check my IG out if you ain't seen my Instagram. Go check out my Instagram. RPM_Trey_Vietnam. The IG be lit. I do little things there that I don't do here. Little shorts and video posts. Picture posts and shit. I'm an artist actually. I went to liberal arts college on an art scholarship. I can draw my ass off. I can draw like hyper realistic stuff. And I haven't drawn pictures in a while. But the attention that you got to pay to the detail when you're trying to successfully draw like a self-portrait or a portrait of anybody, and you want there to be such a strong resemblance that people respect your attempt. You gotta be able to focus on all of the small details to make simple lines, to allow simple lines in a drawing to be simple lines in relation to other simple lines and shades that together will form a hyper-realistic image that you were trying to achieve the whole time. I cracked the Matrix code with drawing since I was a kid. All I see is the lines. I can put them together in relation to the other shit to form a bigger picture. So you think you're looking at a picture of Chris Rock, Tupac, Bill Clinton. These are all portraits that I've drawn. And they look just like them. There's no mistaking that that's who I was attempting to draw. And I'm not saying like, you go, that's kind of good. I'm talking about you would look at it and be like, I can't tell if that's a black and white picture or not. I had so many drawings stolen out of a car that I sold when I was like 18 and 19 years old. I sold my first car that I bought. And when I sold it, I didn't clean the car out well enough, didn't look it over. I let the guy rip me off because I sold it for half the cost that I could have got, because I just thought that if I sold it for a dollar amount that sounded good to me, I could sell the car and then use that towards this fucking 96? No, it was was it 94 or 96? It was a 94 Ford Mustang that I bought after my first car, which was a red 93, I think, Pontiac Grand Am 4-door. I love that car. It was my favorite color. It was fucking cherry red. It was red as fuck. The red was almost glowing. It was a perfect shade of red on the car. Not that red laser shit or that off red, almost burgundy, almost maroon type. I'm talking about a blood ass red. Yeah, man, I had a bunch of drawings and shit in the back of the car, and I went back to the guy when I looked at all the other places for the drawings and couldn't find them. I went back to the guy that I sold the car to and asked him if he found any of my drawings in the car, and he was being indirect in how he was answering me. He wasn't just saying yes or no. And to the point that I started getting upset about his vague responses and his carelessness to my concern about the drawings, he starts smirking and saying, man, you got to look at what you're doing when you're doing, young man. You got to do this and that, man. It ain't my fault, man. It ain't my fault. And he almost closed the door on me when I went to his house. He almost closed the door in my face when I was asking about the drawings. I literally had these drawings stolen from me by somebody. And that broke my heart. I wanted to fight dude. I was like 18, 19 years old. And then I had to let the struggle go because I was in college in Iowa, about 2.5 hours away from where I lived. I had to go back to school. So I couldn't just hang around and just constantly hassle the dude to figure out what was going on. And after a while, man, I just kind of gave up, and I wish that I wouldn't have gave up on it. But I have all these other drawings and shit, too. I had to show y'all sometime in the live stream these drawings that I've done. But I say all that to say this. My attention to detail not only was sharpened as a child when I was encouraged to follow this talent that I seem to have for drawing since I was real little. My mom said that I could draw pictures that she couldn't believe that I was drawing before I could write my name legibly. She said that I was drawing pictures of dolls and other stuff. It's not like it was amazing, but for me not even be able to write my name well, they was like, I can't believe that you can draw this fucking image of this dog though. And so they encouraged that, and then I sharpened that. To touch on a little bit of a synchronicity or signs in your life that may be, it can get wishy-washy because I don't believe people are destined to do something where you can't operate outside of a certain timeline in your life, but I do believe that certain things will point you in the direction of where you should be, and if you recognize that, you will follow a path that best suits your journey here, and thus you will maximize your self-awareness and your purpose if you can find the clues. So not only was I good at drawing, and I feel like the simple lines in comparison to the detailed images that I was creating, how I was making that correlation, but constantly seeing the simple lines only and not being so focused on the until I was finished. So I came to a conclusion. Me being able to see it in that way allowed me to sharpen that talent. But I took that same thing in regards to how I examine the idea of freedom, finding the bottom line in all of these things, seeing the big picture at all times. I think there's a direct correlation between those two things. So shout out to family and friends and stuff growing up that encouraged me to do what it is that I could do with a pencil and a piece of paper. Because I obsessed over it as a child. It was the key to get me into college. The only thing college really did for me is, and I'm driving past the college that I went to right now. It's right here off the side of the interstate. College allowed me to place the detailed analysis that I can put on the things when I can hyper-focus and obsess over shit. It allowed me to take that same sentiment and apply it to academic endeavors. And I got into philosophy because I've always been a deep thinker anyway. I even wrote 2 plays in college in a playwriting class. It's the only class that I got an A in my entire college career was writing those plays because I could tell the story, I could do it well, it was creative, thoughtful, well written, and all of that my first time around. And throughout the classroom you have to share your work and actually pass out your play and cast it, and then we didn't theatrically perform the plays, but we did read them aloud, and people were encouraged to be as theatrical as possible. And when it was my turn to put my script out, not my script, it ended up turning into this desire to be a filmmaker, which I still want to do because I think it'll be the ultimate form of artistic expression about what I see in the world. But the plays, once we have to get those out to the students so they can help read my play out loud, so we can all analyze the story. Everybody in the classroom had an overwhelmingly supportive and entertained response to my play, and the teacher was so fond of the play that I think now in retrospect, I think the teacher wanted to give me some pussy about that play. She was so impressed with me, and she was after we read my play and she analyzed my play and shit, she just got way more fond of me, and it almost got kind of flirty and personal after that, and I think that kind of turned her on to me a little bit. And she was hardly any older than us. I was like 19, I think, when I took this class, maybe 20 years old, and this woman was still in her 20s. She's in her late 20s, 29. She might have been early 30s, but there was a real small gap to me in my mind between not only our ages, but our physical appearances, level of maturity. She's well within my age to understand the music and the movies that we were listening to at the time. She listened to some of the same stuff. She actually helped turn me on to Steve Miller Band, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and some other music too, which I'm still very fond of. My music taste is eclectic as fuck. I listen to almost everything because I believe the soul of a man can be found in music sometimes. And it doesn't have to be rap or hip hop or anything that I might have grown up with for me to find that. You find that shit everywhere. And I can go on and on about how hypnotic music is. and why it seems to be in the hands of the people who control the music industry. It's because they know what it is that we all know intuitively. That you go into a grocery store, and like I have often, and then I walk out of the grocery store, and hours later I have certain songs in my head where I feel very sentimental about my girlfriend or fiance because a love song from the 80s was in my head while I was in the grocery store. I may have realized it or not, but it stuck, and 2 hours later, I'm in a sentimental mood about my girl with this song in my head, and I can't remember where I would have heard the song today that would have placed it there. Oh, it was in the grocery store while I was shopping. And they know that these things do that. They're not stupid. And we're not either. All you gotta do is just honestly observe what it is that you're dealing with, and then call it something. Place it there, and take nothing as being arbitrarily influential in your life when you talk about the social engineering that we know we're dealing with. Then take it all seriously then. If you do, you will realize that the music is being controlled with the intent to also control your mind and your perspective about certain things. Because if they were free, these musicians and artists to make the music that they wanted or that they think that the world needed, while they were trying to deliver a message to humanity inside of a fucking musical message, then the world could easily be this fucking different, fast as fuck, if you put other things into the music. But now it's what? Sexy Red and all the trashy shit she says, all of the violence that you hear in all the rap music that I grew up on, and the rap music that you hear today, that to me, I like accepting the world for what it is and then placing it in its necessary place instead of hating it so much. There is a time and a place for fucking violence. Yes, the fuck there is. And when it's placed in a proper setting, I actually like it because I think that it's necessary to get to the good. It is. Period. I don't care how that sounds to anybody. And I think all of that energy that you find in some of the worst and violent rap music is well-deserved energy that should be pointed someplace else and not at each other. Me and Cuz talk about it from time to time, and I can only imagine that if King Von, Tupac, DMX, Wu-Tang, NBA Youngboy, all of these young rappers nowadays, if all of that energy and their propensity for violence to stand on something that they believe is threatening their lives, and their response is, well, then I will proudly, with all of my energy, stand up to that shit, break laws to fucking stand up to it. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Y'all gonna die or somebody gonna kill me, because this is where we at right now with this shit. And if I can get those guys to bring that energy towards a global awareness of politics and how it affects us, the oath of office that all of these political figures have taken, what it is that they're actually doing with it, and what it is that they got planned for us, man, it'd be nice if all of that energy was just pointed someplace else where it was deserving. That'd be nice. They declare a state of emergency. If there was drill videos and young niggas running around in these music videos with guns all in the air pointed at the cameras and shit, talking about what the fuck they finna do to a tyrannical government and shady politicians. What would they do if that's what the music was about? It'd be a state of emergency. There's no fucking way in hell they would let that shit ride. They would hate the sight of that, and they would call it something, and they'd get on your ass to make you stop that shit, making arrests and all type of shit. But now they go, yeah. Let NBA Youngboy say what he gonna do to somebody. Let him say it. And when we feel like he's living that music, or we can catch him lacking, then we'll blame him for it. But let him say it. Now it's to let him say it. If I name the fucking politician in music like that, they're not gonna say, man, let him say it until he does something. They'll come get your fucking ass. They'll come get you. Fuck that shit. Am I free to say it or not? This is what I be saying. Anything that I find contradicting, I say go at that shit. Some people don't like the fact that I'm like super aggressive, direct, straightforward. I don't hold nothing back. Some people don't like that, but this is what it is that I'm doing with that. I have to be myself and just say what it is that I'm thinking in my head with no filter. Because we're not going to be respected for the thoughts that we have, and we can't show them that these thoughts don't mean that I'm going to shoot up a school or a fucking mall. Shut your stupid ass up. I can talk like this if I want to. It doesn't mean that that's what the fuck I'm going to do. It's straight, and I got to show them that they need to stop harping on what people say when we talking to they ass, because they deserve the shit. Stop trying to scare the public about a guy like me, because it ain't about them. The AR-15 ain't about them. It's about y'all. It's about a revo that I think is deserving. And I'm not saying what I want to do or what I want someone else to do. I'm not calling nobody to violence. I'm making honest observations by looking into the world, wondering how we got to this state in politics. If they want to give us the freedom and we want it, but we're not getting it, how is that happening? That all these powerful, highly influential, and good-to-do ass fucking politicians, and we know that's not who they are. They're sleazy, dirty, nasty. But how is it that they want to pretend to be who they are? We're asking for the freedom, and somehow we ain't getting it still. I say even if it's just because they're just incompetent and incapable of doing the job right, that's enough to fire their ass, and some of them deserve the guillotine too. And I'm not fucking playing. And it's their law society that's saying that that's what they deserve. All you gotta do is ask what it is that you're looking at, and then start measuring shit. Kiss my dick. I say what the fuck I want, and I shouldn't have to stop saying this shit in the way that I'm saying it, because I'm worried about what the fuck I'm gonna look like to they ass. They the guilty ones. You think I give a fuck about what I look like to them? I don't give a fuck about none of that stupid shit. Fuck them. I tell the mayor he a bitch in his face. That he's dumb. That he's fucking susceptible to fucking bribery. He will throw us under the fucking bus for a political agenda. He a pussy because they can come scare him easily. That he's put into a position that they will never allow true justice or freedom to come from no political office. If you join them, they will get you to do what it is that they want you to do, or they will get you the fuck up out of there. It's not even hard to figure out. Won't they get you to fuck up out of there if you don't do what they say? What the fuck was that Kennedy shit? They'll go that far. Get your bitch ass out the way. That's what they'll do to you. Get the fuck out the way in front of everybody. Leave the entire event in obscurity for 50 years or longer. You're never going to get the whole truth of that. And whoever fucking killed Kennedy with all that energy, mystery, the bravado, the propensity for that level of violence, the capabilities of getting away with it and leaving it in such obscurity for all of this time to the point where we're never going to know exactly. These motherfuckers said that they're going to give us full disclosure. That's what Trump said. And he was going to crack the case open on that shit and spill the beans on everything. And then there was a whole bunch of redacted shit. He fumbled that shit, man. Fuck Trump, too. All the motherfuckers are liars. You can't even get up there unless you're willing to play the game. And if you get up there with your good heart thinking you're finna do some good, they will scare the fuck out of you and then bribe you with the money. Do you want us to fuck your life up, or are you going to take this money? Most men go, well, I can't stop you from fucking my life up. I would much rather have the money and shut the fuck up then. Some people just completely bow out. They'll get out of the political race or retire quickly, quit, all the other type of shit. But they can get you, man. Sexual blackmail, that shit works well. It's too easy. You're so susceptible to being corralled by the same entity, the dark entity that killed Kennedy in front of everybody. Once you see that, you have to know that whoever did that is still here. The power, the influence, the capabilities of doing that again if they need to is still there. No one can do such powerful things and then go away. They don't do it to go away. They do it to maintain and gain more control over your ass when you centralize the power. We are in a losing game. Relying on a vote is ridiculous to me. Relying on the Constitution to save you when it hasn't saved you all the time is ridiculous. I talked to my guy a little bit, Freedom Inc. Go check his channel out. We talked briefly, and I do understand what it is that he's saying, that the Constitution was a contract. That the contract was broken, and when a contract is broken, we're supposed to stand on it, but we didn't. I understand all of that, but it doesn't change the fact that the contract was used as a tool of hypnosis to get us to accept things that are undebatable and accept defeat too. Hence the fact that we have a constitution, but there's a fucking armor, or there's a weapon, there's a gap in weaponry and excessive between us and government, to the point that JB, being as tyrannical and guilty as he is of crimes against humanity, and tons of other fucking things, including oath violations, left and right, they're all over the place. But they do this shit without breaking the fucking sweat, because they know that as long as they can keep you inside the game that they are guaranteed to win, you won't step outside of that to fight them. And if you do, it will be too late. And JB said already it was too late for any of that. He said we need F-16s to fight them. He thought we were funny to try to hang on to the AR-15 and then use the potential standoff between us and tyrannical government. He said, that's what y'all trying to hang on to that shit for? Ha! You already can't win. It's proof that the Constitution fucking lulled us to sleep so that they can do that. Now I don't like it, and I know that we never needed it, and that we never had it, and we would know that the second they start talking that shit, we supposed to fight. But with the Constitution being there, and that Second Amendment being there, when they said, we want to change how this goes, Second Amendment, we call it an amendment, doesn't need to be amended. We say, hey, we'll talk about it. The contract lulled us to sleep so that we would accept a debate about it. There's just no way around it. I understand the legitimacy in expressing the fucking contract to them, because the Constitution is supposed to be about limits and shit like that. It's a fucking a document and contract of limits. Things that we tell them, hey, y'all gonna govern, be aware of this, don't do this and don't do that. I say, all cool. But whoever called it amendment set us up, and if these founding forefathers didn't see a setup in that there's a switcheroo built into the fucking system, and they're not that smart, and I'm not gonna praise them. Either they also are incompetent or evil. And you can say the same thing about the government today. They are either incompetent, which the guillotine is there whether it's incompetence or evil. It don't even matter. Chop, chop. Stop playing with them. The fuck? Undebatable. Undebatable. Just undebatable stuff. Cops out here supposed to be public security and shit, and they out here fucking shit up. They can inspire fear in innocent people just off their presence. You start second guessing what the fuck you even got going on in your car. You start looking at, you see a cop, you look at your speed right away. You know you're looking at a man that can extort the fuck out of you. Maybe even kill you on the side of the road before there's even a ticket written or anything at all. It just depends on the conduct that you bring to him when he addresses you. This is crazy. Public service. When I hear public service, I hear butler, maid, cleanup crew, servant. This is what I hear. But that's not what I see. But I know if your motherfucking butler was fucking your wife, spanking your kids, and eating your dinner, you would fucking fire him at the very least. This might turn into a fight or a homicide. Ha! My butler couldn't be doing all that to my life. I would kill that nigga. Government does whatever the fuck they want, and you go, yes, master. Everything that I see is a yes, master, please don't hurt me. You go into a courtroom asking them about that Constitution. Why are we not daring them to throw it all out? That's where I am. Because I know that's where they want to go. There's no point in keeping on playing the game with them when I can see that when we allow them to speak as if they have something to gain on in the win, if they can get a win out of this, as soon as I say, oh, we're going to debate and talk about what? The gun rights? What happens if you think you won? What happens after that? That's impossible. I'm not going to debate you, but I will dare you to throw it all out so we can see what's happening. Because you sound like you want to fight, nigga. You don't fuck about none of that shit. Every time you talk about the guns, all I hear is fight, 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 fight. I don't hear nothing else because you can't win, and I know it. There is no point in discussing that shit. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. And you let them talk that shit, then what they gonna do? You give an inch, they take the mile, right? We all know that. And the founding forefathers didn't see this coming, and they did, because they said that you gonna have to stand up to that tyranny again, and you better keep them guns, because you gonna see it coming too. And I've called the Constitution this before. I said the Constitution is a checklist. I said it before 100 times in videos and all type of shit. You know that when you cannot get these things through legislative means, and they start saying "fuck you, we doing it anyway," or "ha ha," a majority of the people want these rights restricted, so we're going to do that because what the people want. It's not about what the people want. They don't got power that God didn't give them. If you didn't have this power over me when we were 12 years old, you cannot get it. Even if you get 1 million people to side with you, 1 million versus 1, I win. You can't have my rights. RPM Trade Vietnam and this bitch, y'all can stop being hoes out here and stand up to them any day now. Any pussy asses.